Hi, welcome to Module 7. This is the module about how to teach and encourage our young girls to be good communicators. As we are girls, we have a million things going through our minds at one time, and sometimes us young ladies need to learn great tools of how to not only be a great listener, but a great communicator. And this is the time that you'll spend with our young ladies of first learning the tools in order to be an effective listener. One of the things, or a couple of things that we encourage young girls is to listen sometimes more than they talk. And being an effective listener allows the speaker to connect with that person, to make sure that their words land with that person, that they're being clear, that their thoughts are being understood, and that they're delivering the message where it was here and coming out in their voice. And so within this module, we'll go ahead and we will share our screen as normal. Hopefully you by now have gotten the tips and tools and getting familiar with the Microsoft OneNote, because this is the platform where it makes it easy, a portal. It's like its own little world where all of our information is in one spot. So with Module 7, here are some helpful hints that we developed for you. As we start all of our modules, make sure that you're going through roll call, making sure the young ladies are by now should know their girls and girls bill of rights. This would be a great way to give incentives in either module 4, 5, 6, or 7, that for the girl that can say the girls bill of rights by heart will get a treat. And so you'll also want to make any special announcements and to encourage the girls to always use their voice and find one great thing about themselves. Now, this exercise is really creative because you want to divide your group into 2 or 3 students, because you want to have a listener and a speaker, and you want them to exchange in their role play. So again, make sure that you review your curriculum before class, and to prepare with class, the supplies that you'll need for this one is a cardstock. Take a cardstock and divide it into 4 sections, and you'll cut it into 4 different smaller note cards, or you can take note cards and you'll write statements on each of the cards. We'll talk about it. You'll have highlighters, and the easiest way to keep these cards all together is in a Ziploc bag, and then you can throw it in your own bag in your own personal bag. So what you'll want to do is you'll scroll down and you'll talk to the young ladies about what it means to be an effective listener. Are people sitting forward in their chair listening to you? Are they nodding and said, okay, I understand? Do they have questions about what you said, or do they repeat things back to you of what they said? A speaker may feel shut out when the listener is looking around the room, or they're playing with their hair, or they're not really listening to what it is. Maybe they're fidgeting in their seat. So you want to give them examples of what an effective listener techniques are. You also want to give them effective speaking techniques. Again, in the 4th grade, that they're learning how to use their voice. So you want to make sure that they're enunciating their words and they're pronouncing it clearly. They want to use words that the listener is familiar with. Again, they're in the 4th grade, so you want to use words that are not too big, that are on their current reading level. That you want to use appropriate volume, where it's not too quiet and not too loud. You want to give examples that illustrate the point. And a listener may have a hard time understanding what's being said from the communicator if they're mumbling, or they're looking away from the listener, or if they're talking really fast, or they use unfamiliar words that the students don't understand. So what you'll do is you will take those note cards and you will write each one of these practice topics on separate individual note cards. Then what you'll do is you'll take all of those note cards, First, you break the girls into two, maybe three, depending on if it is an uneven number. You'll take all of those choices and you'll turn them face down. You'll spread it out like a deck of cards and you'll ask the girls in the group to each girl will pick their own card. They'll turn it face down and they won't show the other girl what it is. They'll look at the card and they'll do exactly what the card says. They'll be the speaker, the other person will be the communicator. So let's use an example. So the first one says, describe your bedroom to the listener. So if I am number one and I'll go first, I look at my card, I don't tell the other person, and I'll say, okay, I got my card. Turn my card face down. You as the facilitator, set the timer for 1 to 2 minutes. Judge your time and make sure that you give them enough time to complete this exercise. So if the person A knows that they have to describe their bedroom, they'll take one moment and they'll say, my bedroom wall is purple. I have my favorite stuffed animals. I share my room with my sister. I have pink sheets. I have a stuffed teddy bear on my room, and they will use their voice to speak. After the minute is over, they'll set the timer again for 1 minute, and you will allow the listener to repeat back everything that they heard from the first speaker. Then you'll go around the room and by a show of hands, who heard you correctly based on what that other person said? People who raised their hand, great. Those people that did not hear correctly, they'll have to do the exercise again or try to understand and have dialogue. What didn't you hear clearly about the person? Were they mumbling? Were they not clear? Did they not just have a good memory and not understand? So they'll practice this and you'll go around maybe 2 or 3 times. Each person will have their opportunity to listen and each person will have their opportunity to share. This is, again, a great opportunity for the students to connect with one another. Again, if there are some students that are a little shy and haven't quite found their voice, you want to make sure that you pair them with another student that's a little bit more vocal to hopefully encourage that other young lady to speak. This is the module 7 about being a great communicator. And this is also an exercise that they can take outside of the classroom, whether they are presenting in their class for different presentations or class, or if they are talking amongst their peers, or they're talking to an adult in their household where they need to learn how to be communicators, especially if they're frustrated about things that are going on or they're being stressed out and they need to talk to an adult. So learning how to be a great communicator as well as a great listener. So this is module 7, great communication. Thanks for joining us. We have one more module to go. Thanks for hanging in there. See you in our last module.